Welcome to Day 14. Identify your ideal retail partner, including online. The Retail Solve Blueprint to teach you everything you need to know to confidently grow and scale your brand. Build a connected community of loyal evangelists and multiply your brand's impact, sales, and profits. If we are meeting for the first time, my name is Dan Lohman. I've had the privilege of mentoring and working with hundreds of brands, from pre-revenue to multi-billion dollars in sales. This is a culmination of the best strategies that are working today. I've spent years testing and perfecting them to save you valuable time and money, to give you the edge that you deserve. If you haven't done so yet, download the free 30-day guide to prosperity workbook at retailsolve.com 30-day workbook to help you get the most out of this brand building series. Go back and listen to all the episodes in the masterclass so that you don't miss a thing. The strategies build upon each other in the order of the series. Please share these and help me raise the bar in natural. I want to take a moment to recap the last episode. Use clarity and consistency to amplify your message. Confusion pushes customers away. Customers don't want to go on a scavenger hunt to find your products. Make it easy for them to find and buy your products wherever they shop. Shoppers want personalization. Let them know how important they are to your brand and that they matter. Personalize your communication with them. Learn to speak their language, how they talk about the problem they need you to solve. This is how you convert occasional customers into loyal shoppers. The best part about this is that this is the Achilles heel of every brand, literally every brand, especially big brands. The point here is this: if you can find a way to get to know your ideal customer on a more intimate basis, like you would a good friend, then you can align your message to attract future shoppers with similar needs. This is exactly why I talk about building a community or tribe outside of traditional retail. It's a big focus of the Retail Solve podcast. You can then use those insights not only to help you better serve them, but more importantly, to help you make your brand more future-proof and more irresistible to retailers. This ties in nicely to today's topic. Identify your ideal retail partner, including online. Not only is it critically important for your long-term success to serve and attract the right customer, it's equally important to choose the retailers where your ideal customer shops. Even better yet, strive to choose retailers that value the contribution that you make to their store. Remember the three things that retailers really want: more foot traffic in their store, a competitive advantage in the market, and a reasonable profit. Put a different way, where does your brand have the greatest opportunity to thrive and get discovered by loyal customers and future shoppers? The whole idea behind this series is to give you the best opportunity to thrive and scale. It begins with giving retailers the support that they need and deserve from your brand. As you hear me continually say, retailers don't want canned generic top-line reports. They need actionable insights that they can't get from anyone else, including your competitors. If you can provide deep-level insights about your unique customer and how your committed customer shops your brand, along with the other items that they purchase when they're in their store, then that's a game changer. The reason that this matters is because your customers are the customers that don't settle. They choose consistent quality over price. They want products that give them exceptional value for their hard-earned money. They want products that they know, like, and trust. And it's that relationship that they have with your brand that you can leverage with retailers to compete more effectively, especially as we get beyond COVID. One of the biggest challenges that I have with the way that we help brands in this industry is that we constantly teach CEOs how to raise money, and then we teach them how to raise more money, and then we teach them how to raise even more money, and so on. We effectively tell you to hand the keys to your brand to anyone to manage but you, and this is a huge mistake. This is exactly why I created the free 30-day challenge of prosperity. You are the best person suited to manage your brand because you understand your customer and you know why your brand matters to them. You're the best person suited to manage your brand because your brand solves the specific problem your customer asks you to solve. In fact, most natural brands were born out of a problem the founder was seeking to solve for themselves first, before they decided to become a brand. Go back and think about the unique problem that your brand solves. The reason you initially created your brand as we go through this entire process. Your customers are just beginning their journey toward the solution you already created. You've already conquered the mountain. You know their pain, and you know how to help them. You need to be their guide, their Sherpa, and you need to help them avoid the struggles and pitfalls you've already overcome. This is why I'm a firm believer that you need to own your strategy in-house and then use your brokers, agencies, and distributors to execute it on your behalf. Brokers, distributors, and agencies rely on cookie-cutter strategies to be efficient. The same canned top-line reports and cookie-cutter strategies used to sell motor oil will not differentiate your organic baby food. Sadly, most retailers rely on these reports as well. This is where you can differentiate your brand and stand out on the crowded shelf. I see this a lot when I work with brands of all sizes. For example, I was helping a brand that created an amazing product. She was based in California. She was approached by a big distributor at a trade show who promised that they could get her national distribution. She was thrilled, so she said yes. They managed to get her product into 4 stores, 1 in Florida, 2 in Indiana, and 1 in Louisiana. Beyond the extra freight, there's no way that she can effectively manage and support her brand in those stores. In addition, the distributor demanded that she buy promotions that included stores that her product was not selling in. This would have been a huge waste of money, but I see brands making this colossal mistake all the time. Agreeing to the promotion demands of a distributor could have bankrupted her. When I worked for Unilever and Kimberly-Clark, we had our own direct sales force. They represented only our products at every retail store. Our sales team, including those calling on individual stores, were all paid by the same company. We all attended the same trainings, and we were even incented the same. Well, when Kimberly-Clark decided to outsource a store-level sales team, we went to a broker model. This means that the broker represented several different brands in addition to our brand each time they called in a store. We no longer provided a dedicated resource to retailers, and as a result, we lost sales across many different categories. Now, that's not blaming the broker. Our brand simply became less relevant as those supporting our brand in store also supported other products at the same time. Specifically, a sales rep had about 2 hours in a store to merchandise and manage all of our items that we sold, only our brand. I've met broker sales reps that are responsible for hundreds of different brands while they have the same 2 hours dedicated per store. A direct sales model is extremely expensive, something that most brands can't afford. Brokers can provide a lot of value, and they can help you get your brand on store shelves, but you need to have reasonable expectations as to what they can do and what they can't do for your brand. The point is this: choose retailers that attract your ideal customer and that you have the best ability to support. Don't work to gain distribution in stores where you can't support and promote your brand, including with a broker. Grow into those stores when it makes good sense and not before. I get more in depth in this in my Effective Broker Management course. The reason I created this course is because of a lot of brands of all different sizes and across all different channels were reaching out to me and asking me these exact questions. The course teaches the key strategies that I shared in person with those brands. That's right, companies paid me to fly out and spend dedicated time with their sales team, teaching them how to maximize sales by leveraging their broker. Now you can get the same great content without having to reimburse me for air travel or hotels or meals, etc. You can learn more about the course at retailsolve.com, Effective Broker Management. You can start by downloading my free guide, Simple Solutions to Maximize Your Broker Distributor Effectiveness. You can get that guide at retailsolve.com/free guide 11. The primary questions that I was getting were: how do you more effectively manage your brokers? How do you get the most out of them? How do you hold them accountable for what you need them to do? And then more importantly, how do you leverage their relationship at retail to grow and scale your brand? This is a challenge that literally every brand struggles with, so don't think you're alone. Now, getting back to what we're talking about. This is exactly why I believe that you need to own your own strategy, the focus of all my content. The problem is this, that many brands focus on metrics that don't help them grow. For example, you were told that the only thing that matters is velocity. Nothing could be further from the truth. That's because brands with deep pockets can buy velocity, the amount of product they sell off the shelf. Deep discounting and low prices tend to pull profitable dollars out of the category, the last thing retailers want. This also makes it extremely difficult for retailers to compete. It doesn't take a lot of creativity to have the lowest price in the market. As I keep stating, the value of your unique customer is that they're willing to pay a premium for quality products that they know, like, and trust. And this is far more valuable to the retailer than any of the fees the retailer might charge. Consider this. 25% of an average brand gross sales is tied to promotions, and yet statistically over 70% are ineffective or have no long-term impact on category growth. So, Wouldn't it make more sense to help your retail partner achieve the three things that they really want instead? More traffic in their store, a competitive advantage in their market, and a reasonable profit. Instead of giving your retail partner a quick, short-lived sugar high from a promotion, let's help them grow sustainable sales and profits while better meeting the needs of their shoppers, your shoppers. Here's how this works. A customer buying organic milk might also buy organic cereal, organic snack, and other organic products throughout the store. Their market basket, which is the sum total of all their purchases, is typically far greater than the customer that buys the cheap stuff. More importantly, they're helping their most profitable customer find and buy all the items on their shopping trip without inviting them to shop their competition. Helping customers find and buy what they want and not giving them an excuse or an invitation to shop your competition, this is how you build loyal shoppers. This is exactly what all my content is focused on. This is why I want you to focus on contribution. Contribution are the profitable dollars that your brand delivers to the category and to the retailer. When you add in the impact of your brand on its impact on the shopper market basket, those numbers increase dramatically. This is why I believe that you need to focus on selling your product at a fair price, rather than trying to be the cheapest price on the shelf. Choosing a retailer that wants your help and that will reward you is the key to your success. This will help you grow and scale faster while making it easier to thrive with other retailers, something I go into great detail about on the podcast, webinar replays, and the courses. Let me give you another great example. Podcast episode Secrets 132, Jeff with Bubba's Fine Foods. Choosing the right expert can jeopardize your brand. Jeff was told by industry experts that he needed to hire a master broker, so he did. The master broker did exactly what he said he would do. He got Jeff distribution in stores all across the country. A huge win, right? Not really. And here's why. Jeff didn't have the capability to support his brand in stores clear across the country. He didn't have anyone in those geographies to merchandise it, to rotate it, and to avoid out of stocks, to make sure that it was signed properly, or to handle any of the issues that he had with retailers. On top of that, each store wanted slotting fees and promotional fees. Jeff felt like an ATM machine. Sound familiar? Jeff was forced to fire his master broker, and he began to focus on stores in his backyard where he could support his growth. He had to forfeit distribution in a lot of the stores that he worked so hard to get into, stores where he had to pay a premium to get on their shelves. I hear stories like this a lot. The master broker was thinking about what was best for the master broker. They got paid for every new store that they got distribution in. His focus was on his paycheck and not on the long-term health of Jeff's brand. This is why you need to understand exactly who your customer is, and then you need to focus on gaining distribution where your customer shops, and not trying to gain distribution where your customer doesn't shop. Sadly, some retailers are focused more on the fees you pay them than on serving their shoppers as well. Avoid these retailers as much as possible. They can derail and even bankrupt your brand. For additional inspiration, listen to podcast episode Secret 132, Jeff with Bubba's Fine Foods. Choosing the wrong expert can jeopardize your brand. Listen to Jeff share in his own words detailed specifics from the story I just shared with you. Next, listen to Secret 16 with Sarah and Joe from ECRM, their creative strategy to introduce your brand to retailers. This is a great episode because it gives you a framework on how you can introduce your brand to more stores. And this, of course, is the way you get your brand onto more store shelves. Then listen to Secrets 175 with Brandon with Range Me, creative strategies to make your brand more discoverable to retailers in uncertain times. This is one of my most popular episodes because in this episode, Brandon shows you a strategy where you can leverage the Range Me platform, which by the way has a free component, so you can get your brand discovered by more retailers. And then you should also listen to Secrets 189 with ECRM and Range Me, how to get your brand discovered by retailers and get them onto more store shelves. This is the audio recording from the free webinar by the same name, from the free weekly webinar series that I launched to help brands impacted by COVID. ECRM, Range Me, and Whole Foods magazine were the first to sponsor of the free weekly webinar series. Tip of the day. Just like every customer is unique, so is every store. Use what you've learned to find and identify your dream shopper and focus all your efforts there. I've recorded the video, which has illustrations and additional information that I can't share on the audio podcast. You can watch the company video on the podcast webpage, and you can get there by going to brandsecretsandstrategies.com/session240. In tomorrow's show, we'll talk about how to become a trusted and respected retail partner, a category leader. This episode will build on today's conversation. Thanks for listening, and I look forward to seeing you in the next show.